What's going on YouTube? It's your host Bruce GNT, and we are back with another video. So I've been paying attention to what's going on in Memphis, and I'm getting a whole lot more news now. So apparently right after Trump had announced that the National Guard was going to come in, violence was continuing at a pretty steady rate in Memphis, Tennessee. And after this video, we're going to jump into another video where a woman basically talks about her experience dealing with the National Guard within DC, and she's a Memphis native. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump right in.
According to Memphis police, 7 shootings have been reported since last Friday morning, one incident leading to a homicide in South Memphis. But it's one shooting incident that happened during broad daylight Saturday morning that has some Memphians wondering if the National Guard will make any real change. A shooting in broad daylight near A.W. Willis Avenue and Front Street in downtown Memphis Saturday morning has some Bluff City residents wondering if the National Guard coming will change the city's crime.
First of all, I don't know if they intentionally did that, like had the car rolling, because that's like a thing that they do. I mean, I guess it's kind of smart because that way you don't have to worry about putting it apart. I don't know, but this is broad daylight. Dude over here has a pistol and he has like some type of semi-automatic weapon. I'll repeat that again. He seemingly has a pistol and he has a semi-automatic weapon, and they just lit up the street. I don't know if this is targeted. I don't think so, unless they knew this person was going to take this exact route. But we're sitting here arguing, saying, "Oh, they don't need the National Guard." These are fake ass soldiers right here. Like that's what they're doing. They out here acting like this is war in their own communities with their own people, and yet people still want to argue there's a police shortage. And even still, this is what they got to deal with.
Crime reputation.
No, it ain't gonna bring the change that we need to see, but it might help with the crime a little bit. But change, it's gonna take more than some police to come down here for to change the city.
We're going to Memphis.
Since President Trump uttered these words on Friday, according to Memphis police, 7 shootings were reported. In 3 of those cases, MPD made an arrest. One resulted in a homicide. Memphis resident Asaya Cobb claims the shooting incident on Saturday morning will continue with or without troops being deployed to the area.
I do feel like crime happens everywhere, but I just think it was crazy that it just happened in broad daylight like that. And I think these are target shootings, not just going on a rampage on people.
Jewel Simpson, a lifelong Memphis resident, believes the troops coming to Memphis is a waste of financial resources.
I don't think that it's actually about trying to help Memphis at all. I think that it's posturing and bullying, and it's completely unnecessary.
Again, MP.
First of all, I don't even think she lives in those areas where they're talking about, because you see these people a lot, and there's a lot of, and I'm referring to people that live in these areas, but the only time you see them is when they're in their car driving where they gotta get to, and when they get to the destination, which is nowhere in those areas. You see those people a lot, and they talk about, oh, we don't need it, so you don't watch the news. You're an older man, right? You're an older woman. I know for a fact you watch the news, so you didn't see how they just lit up that street right there. Dude had a semi-automatic weapon, had no posture at all, and was just like, you didn't see that? So let me get this straight. Him sending the National Guard to help because Memphis can't handle this shit, apparently, is bullying. But them lighting up their streets with gunfire, leading to the death and injury of people, that's not bullying. Sending the National Guard to help is bullying, but them lighting their streets up is not bullying. That's what? That's a Saturday, right?
PD has made 3 arrests in the 7 reported shootings since last Friday. Police will continue searching for those suspects from Saturday's shooting. In downtown Memphis, I'm Desmond Nugent, ABC 24 News.
So let's jump into this next video, right, where this woman that is from the Memphis area moved to DC, and she basically talks about her experience with the National Guard and how it's going to look for the people. And I guess she seemingly went online and told them what it was going to look like to pretty much help people out and bridge the gap, because a lot of people are throwing out a whole lot of accusations and falsehoods about what's going to happen when the National Guard goes to Memphis, Tennessee. So let's jump into this video right quick.
We're thrilled to go into Memphis next week. The president signed the executive order today. We're working hand in hand with our U.S. senators, with the governor there, and we're just so excited about making Memphis safe again, just like we've done in D.C.
It's necessary. We do need help. But for citizens, for families, for young children to see such a use of force, you will be taken aback.
The National Guard and several law enforcement agencies from the federal government are headed to Memphis. President Trump called it a replica of his actions in Washington, D.C.
So tonight we're taking a closer look at how exactly this went in the Capitol.
Fox 13 has team coverage tonight of the Guards' pending arrival. We're going to start with Fox 13's Jack Bilyeu. Jack, you spoke to a Memphis native who lives in D.C., and she has seen the whole thing play out, in fact, from the very beginning.
Yeah, Lucretia Anderson moved from Memphis to D.C. in 2017. Tonight, she told me everything you need to know before that federal task force arrives here.
As a person that has lived through this for like the last 5 weeks here in D.C., it is something like you've never seen before.
Lucretia Anderson went live on Facebook Sunday, telling her friends and family what the federal intervention in Washington, D.C. looked like. The things she predicted in that video were then confirmed Monday by the president when he signed a memorandum creating the federal task force.
They're going to come with HSI, which is Homeland Security, the FBI, ATF, DEA.
The effort will include the National Guard as well as the FBI, ATF, DEA, ICE, Homeland Security Investigations, and the U.S. Marshals.
Her video wound up reaching a much wider audience than intended and now sits at over 6,000 shares.
Memphians reached out to me and said, thank you. We didn't know what this process would look like.
So what will the process look like? Anderson says National Guardsmen stationed around town was just part of the federal intervention. She recorded this video of a team of agents entering a restaurant at the Wharf, which she described as the D.C. equivalent to Beale Street.
I remember all of a sudden seeing maybe a dozen agents just infiltrate a taco restaurant. And I think that was my first time saying, oh, this is real.
She says another major impact were roadblocks. Officials set up checkpoints on major roads and stop everyone looking for outstanding warrants, guns, expired registration, and more.
I could see Germantown Parkway being one of those spaces, Austin P. Many of those streets that feed out into neighborhoods, many of those areas that feed directly into 240 or 40.
Anderson says now is the time to make sure all your paperwork is in order. At first, she says it was all shocking. Then it became normal.
One thing I will say is that I don't see how it can be shocking because, as we just saw, people are used to living in environments where, you know, they just see guns being pulled out and then getting used. I say that jokingly, but pay attention because what they said was they stopped everyone asking for ID and everything like that, looking for people with outstanding warrants. So when people try to make it seem like, oh, they're going to send the National Guard and ICE and everything like that, and they're going to just stop random people, unless you just believe everyone's just lying, they're not going to stop random people. They're going to stop everyone and look to see, okay, you got a warrant? All right, we got to see. You know what I'm saying? They're going to do their due diligence. That's what they're meant to do.
While we became desensitized to some of what we were seeing, the feeling was one of, we know this is a good thing for crime. It just doesn't feel good.
Anderson says when this is all said and done, she believes Memphis will be a stronger, more prosperous city. Dorsey?
Well, we will see. That is.
My thing is this. What you've been trying for the longest time isn't working. You have a police shortage, and your citizens feel like they're living in terror because you have the few out there that are making it bad for everyone, as we just saw. And as we hear, the crime statistics are out there. I showed in my last video. It's terrible. It's not going to feel good because it's not really supposed to feel good. It needs to fix something that's been a consistent issue for the past 10 years or so. It's been going on for way too long. And yes, in the case of Memphis, the crime has been going down a little bit, but it's still higher than the national average. That's not good. We saw what happened in DC. It's not like what they're making it seem like. There weren't just massive like battalions on the ground. They weren't a whole bunch of tanks and army. It wasn't none of that. It was none of that. And look, we have a woman, a black woman, because I like to make it about race a lot, basically saying, hey, look, it's not going to feel good, but it's for the betterment of everyone around there. And in my personal opinion, because people like to talk about, oh, tax dollars being wasted. Tax dollars get wasted in two ways. Either send a National Guard there and tax dollars getting used that way because that's the federal money, which is tax dollars, or the federal government sends money to these cities like they've been doing and see no change, and that's still tax dollars. It's all the same thing. The money doesn't come from some random place. It comes from the same spot, our tax dollars. All right. But that's it. That's all I got for this video. You guys already know the drill. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Comment down below. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me, do you agree with her depiction of what went on in DC? If you're from the DC area and you're watching this video, let me know. Like, is she accurate or was she just lying? You know, I want honest opinions over here. And subscribe if you want to see more. Peace.